Hello, hello. Happy fall, everybody. Ah, I love this time of year. It is just so cozy, or at least in my mind, it's supposed to be so cozy. And what's amazing is that this year we finally get maybe a cozy fall time. This is great. I'm loving this. For the past I don't know, 10, 15 years or something, as long as I've lived here, it has been scorchy hot and like not ideal fall for me. There's like this feeling of like if you're going to the pumpkin patch, it's gotta be cold, right? So yeah, we're brisk. So that is what we're getting right now, and it feels so great. So happy fall. Actually feels like it this time. So anyway, with that, that also means it's the equinox happened, which is that time of like balance, um, a chance for us to come back into alignment. It's that, that wobbly time where summer feels very extroverted, you know, we go out, a lot of people will like this is the time they'll plan their vacations or things and so there's a lot of extroverted activity in summertime and this is the time where we start to kind of recalibrate towards going back inward and going back into like the nights getting longer and yeah, just more like self-reflecting time. So, and for me, that always helps when the weather actually gets cold. So that's helpful. So yeah, here we go. Back into the fall time, into the nighttime. Interesting. Um, what was I gonna say? There has been a reading that has been like popping me, whatever the word is, trying to get my attention for a while now. And part of it is this curiosity of what is this group? What is this? I'm over here. I'm pulling cards and I'm, I mean, channeling wisdom of some kind or another, whether it be like, well, it's just my own, but it comes in from, these different facets of me yeah, my higher self that not gonna fool anybody here but the my higher self is a lot wiser than this human part of me. I'm it's still fully me, but I have to acknowledge that this version of me that once I get going with the cards, that is not always who I am just regularly, like I get lost in triggers and just my own crap and it happens, and then I sit here and I really just like let all of that go into the spot where it belongs. And then I bring in this part of me that is just more connected to source or energy or the universe, the wisdom, our wisdom. And then there's the piece of you guys and you guys being out there and and listening to the stuff that I'm saying. And that is the most incredible thing because then I hear feedback from you guys saying how this resonated and how it makes sense and how, like it just in some way inspires or motivates or I don't know what it does, right? Like it just it's there to propel us forward in some way. Me too, because the things that I say sometimes it's like I will look back, either I will remember or I'll run off and go write some notes because it's like, oh dang, that was actually really good. And I should probably write that down before I forget. So it's like that kind of thing where it's like this dream version of me is is hanging out here. It's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. And then it doesn't really look that different because I'm just me. It's just me. So so here's the thing that I really want to ask the cards is that why does this all resonate for all of us? And why, when I pull these cards, does it actually speak to something that is going on in our lives? And we each have such varied, different, unique, magical lives. So how does that work? I'm deeply interested in wanting to understand this. And who knows if I ever will, right? Like this is like deep mystery. So, and I am definitely a student of the mystery. I, yeah, I don't know if you can ever fully claim to be a teacher because I mean, who has it completely figured out, right? It's the mystery. So we're all experimenting with it and we're all learning about it in real time and to varying degrees have different success or fail stories, you know, and each are incredibly valuable. Anyway, all of that aside, what I'd love to ask the cards today, and by ask the cards, I mean ask that piece of the higher wisdom that links all of us. I I want to know, or I want a better understanding of what it is that we have in common as magical folk that gather and listen to the ramblings that I offer. What are we all here for? What are we all doing? What connects us? And what is that magical link between all of us? So, this is the part where, in some way or another, does not have to be ritualized or complex or anything. In fact, I like simple. Simple is best for me anyway. Of doing a little thing to connect for a second, and that's why I have this candle always lit for us. In my imagination, this candle signifies us, like circled around bonfire. And if I could have my ideal setting, we would be in the woods somewhere, and it would be this like beautiful twilight time, and it would be storytelling time around the bonfires. That is my ideal idea of what we would be doing. So, hey, look at the bottom. Sage. I love that. With the old crow. We're all old sages here. Old souls. I knew that. I knew you guys were old souls. So yeah, that candle is signifies the time that I dedicate to do this with you guys. And when it goes out, I know that for me, that the door closes. I go back to doing my regular old thing, which is a lot of things. And when I light the candle, you guys come back again. So let's go ahead and pull some cards and let's see, aside from us hanging out, being all wise old souls together, do you all have a crow? A little familiar out there? I wouldn't be that surprised if you do. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we got three cards. I'm just, sometimes it's too many cards. This time it feels right. But here's what kind of links us together. I'm gonna see if I can streamline this. Okay. Wanderer, poet, warrior. Wanderer, poet, warrior. Wow. When I feel into that energy, well, first to do you guys a favor, let's pause on each of these cards. Wanderer, take on the day with real abandon. I'm reading backwards in the screen. Be a traveler. Use your instincts well. Feel all of the peace and wanderlust you have in you. Wanderer. And it's this like little deer or antelope, migratory animal. I love to think of the deer trails. And one of my favorite ways to hike in the forest is to go on the deer trails. The deer, when you follow these trails, will always take you to amazing, beautiful places. Often they're in search of shelter and water. Two of those in nature are beautiful. When they take you to shelter, usually it's a grove of low-hanging trees, and it's a little pasture, little meadow that's kind of secluded, almost like a fairy circle. And then when they take you to water, they'll take you to waterfalls and creeks and places where the water just kind of mysteriously bubbles up from nowhere. Very, very magical indeed. So the deer, or whatever this is, could be a little antelope. Not sure. Anyway, for me, what pops up is the deer trail. So, and then the poet. Take on the day with real beauty. Be a leader. Use your genius well. Feel all of the rawness and inspiration you have in you. Oh my gosh. And this I feel is so true about all of us that that join here with me. If you're listening to me, you're a dreamer, you're a poet, you're probably a rebel too. Probably not going with the flow of the society around you in some way. You're definitely a free thinking individual, magical minded. Look at that poet with the eyes closed, not afraid to dream in the dark, not afraid to listen to the inner muse, not afraid to express it either, even though that part of us might be a little bit more closed or a little bit open. It really depends on where you are. But I sense that for many of us, that that self-expression was really unique and really, really expansive and beautiful as children, and then quieted down, but now is starting to get back online. And I feel that this is renewed passion to be a poet. And by poet, I also feel like it's a form of artistry, but perhaps all of us here, perhaps it's true that a lot of us here are writers in some way, and that our thoughts can be clearly expressed in written form. And perhaps you also have books that you cuddle. I know I do. Like literally books that you will just kind of like hang out with. Maybe you go to the bookstore and you follow your nose and you actually sniff the books. Yeah, so uh wanderers and poets, you guys are magical, magical. And then let's go on to this part here. Take on the day with real discipline. Be a hero. Use your force well. Feel all of the purpose and tenacity you have in you. And this is the fact that you and I and all of us watching here are badasses. You guys are some badass poets, dreamers, adventurers, wanting to understand what this world is all about, not taking no for an answer from society when they tell you to stop wandering, to shut down your curiosity, to put it in a box. There's no box you can fit in. You just don't fit in a box. And that is what's so beautiful about you. And this is interesting because with warrior really comes responsibility, because I look towards the disciplined paths of, like the Shaolin monks and the ones where, yeah, they could break your arm if they needed to, but would they just go out and pick a fight? No, they don't go running out picking fights. In fact, the warrior path is the path of, usually down the middle, where it's neutral. It's not really about fighting, but it's about, you know, coming into that place of absolute pure strength inside of you, that this is an unfuckwithable energy, because they know who they are, they know their center, they know their place in the world, they know who they are. And part of that with this wanderer has been a bit of a finding who you are. Has not been easy to find who you are in this mix of societal uh impressions, because I do feel with poet and wanderer that we've wandered to the edge of society often, maybe not feeling like we belong. And then with poet, that we're very empathetic and we're very spongy in terms of like we take the energy in, and then we don't always know that we did that. And then if we take the energy in and then it lives too long in there, then we think it's ours and it's really not. And so the way that we can know is that warrior energy comes in to help the poet and the wanderer find their way, find their inner center and their strength. And that definitely takes that discipline to use your force wisely, to use it for what is going to benefit you and to actually move you forward down your path rather than you following somebody else's path. That's not what you are. You don't follow other people's path. You may be inspired by other people and may value other people's way of however they have come to find their way. Does that make any sense? I am, yeah. Woo! All of this energy is very big and really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I feel like this group that I'm speaking to today, tomorrow, and the future, you guys are pioneers. You guys are the pioneers of this new energy, this brand new way of living that has never been done before. And that really does take dedication to your inner art and going out into the unknown. The wanderer's not afraid to go out into the unknown. And then the warrior being super brave, even though you're scared, because stepping out into the unknown is freaky as shit. And yet you still do it every single day, going out into the places where you don't know what you're going to learn, and trusting yourself enough that you're going to have a good time wherever you go. So let's see. Let's see what else. I love this reading mainly because I love you guys. And this is absolutely amazing and magical. I'm not surprised. I am like not surprised at all. Okay, what else? What else is beautiful about you and this group? What links us together? Wow, this is super cool. Whoa, the Hathors. We, the Hathors. Now that's a download and a half. I did think it was interesting. I will show you guys. This is a candle that I have that I bought it for myself on one of my birthdays. Actually, it was during 2020 when we were all stuck inside. And I wanted so badly to be able to travel somewhere. And the only way to do so was in my imagination. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was to be in this temple. And this is the Temple of Hathor. And I don't remember the actual name of it. It'll come to me later. But this is what the columns look like. It has her face on the four sides. And so each of the faces looks into eternity, going in all directions. And actually, um, the temple does not display this, but the faces would also have been like the center go up and the center go down. So it really is like the Hathors look in all dimensions of time. And I'm bringing that up because as soon as I started filming, I realized that it was it looked weird. It was all shadowy. And so I just tweaked her. I was just like, oh, like, there you go. You can look at the camera. And now here it is. There are no accidents. Like magic, magic and all of this, the way the universe communicates is so subtle and so profound and happens constantly, constantly. So here we are connected by the Hathors. And this, what I can't honestly say I know, but what I feel, because I do feel that Hathors, it's a it's a feeling in the body, and it's a certain vibration. And the vibration that they carry is really good. It's a yummy feeling. Kind of like, the moment it, just imagine with me for a second. You're out, it's chilly, and you come across a beautiful hot spring, and your body is chilled and cold to the bone. And then when you get into this hot spring, it's like the warmth moves through you, and you are renewed, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's what it feels like to be warm again. Oh, and you just like sink into this like gooey, relaxed state of bliss. And that is what the Hathors feel like to me. And I do feel like this is also an actual, this is not just a bunch of, I can't even say woo woo because woo actually is a Chinese word, a Taoist word for something very powerful, but we'll talk about that another time. But that this is actually based in science, that this is a certain vibration that is tactile in nature somehow. And it is very, very subtle, but it is a vibration that you can pick up on, and it is a vibration of bliss and life, like life energy. That is this. So it's really good. And that's super, super freaking cosmic. So not only on a really simple earthy plane, you're all wandering, you're all beautiful, enchanting poets of some kind, badass warriors not afraid to move out into the unknown. But then look at this. You've been traveling for ages now. Oh man, I have to take deep breaths because it's like the energy coming in with the Hathors is cosmic, very, very, very big. It's very beautiful too. And so I do feel that maybe all of us here are connected, possibly many lifetimes of service. And perhaps we danced in these temples when they were first built. And perhaps we even go back further than that, when we dreamed these temples into existence, holding a dream that is far more ancient than we can possibly know. And this is where my throat starts to get kind of gravelly. Wow. Because it's the poet, the wow, the poet is not used to being able to express this quality of sound. In fact, it really does take a warrior to express this kind of sound and a certain type of bravery, because the world has not been kind to the ones that express this kind of sound. However, it's this kind of sound that brings creation into the world. And this sound is actually the reason that we're all here. Wow, this download is huge. You guys are fucking powerful. I could cry. Shit. On that note of getting emotional, crack to open. Huh. That is exactly what we're meant to do, is crack wide open and not be afraid to do this badass vulnerability and do it for the whole world to see, because it's actually so powerful to sit in this crazy universe and know how beautiful you are and not feel ashamed to show it. And so cracking yourself wide open, in fact, that again is where you guys are so strong, because for ages now this has been very painful, and cracking open mm, is hard sometimes, because it means that everything falls apart. And just imagine an egg, when it's cracked open, there is nothing holding that egg yolk, egg white in there anymore. And so, really, it's just this absolute vulnerable state. And then you being brave enough to do it again and again and again and again, because you can. And because that brings you such beautiful wisdom and beautiful experience. The experience of living here is both incredibly painful and incredibly blissful. And the two of those combined really is what makes us human and makes us storytellers. And that's why it's so important for each and every one of you to tell your beautiful story, because God, you've got a really beautiful story. And it doesn't matter how difficult it is to share it, but please do. Please, please, please share. We clearly all need it, because it's like that is what you're sharing through this cracking open. Look at what's coming out. If I can, like, and then all of this beauty comes out. Like, just imagine what you could do for the world, inspiring people like that, in that way that only you can, because you're so unique. And that is why this little group is so quiet and so tiny, because right now it needs to be, because that is what keeps us feeling safe. Because this warrior is not that excited to keep struggling. We want to find a safe place to rest and create and dream. And that's why I hold space for you here, so that you can relax and you can feel safe and you can feel heard and you can pour yourself a cup of tea and you can just crack open in a different way and just receive the beauty that I just mirror back to you, because I feel your energy It's not fake. I feel your energy when I turn this thing on. And I'm just saying words that you needed to hear and you needed to remember. And you already know all of these words anyway. You could say them to yourself. It's just nice to hear it from someone else sometimes. So, damn, you guys are powerful. Mm. Okay. And it really doesn't exclude any one of you. I just heard she's not talking about me. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Go look in the mirror. But actually look in the mirror. Don't just do that glance and like get scared of your own reflection. That's a bunch of bullshit. Go look in the mirror and remember how beautiful you are. The eagle. Wow. See from a higher perspective. So that's another thing. That's another thing that brings us here together. We all have this higher knowing. And I see it as we've got the small little us that's traveling down the road. I'm actually going to use my little Kuan Yin hanging out. I love this little sculpture. I just, I don't know, I love tactile things. And Kuan Yin was an ascended master. She actually did this work. She did this human work. And then she ascended and she became an ascended master. And you guys are all ascending masters. And so just imagine you're walking along in your tiny little human form, but then this like bigger version of you, this zoomed out, absolute expanded, multi-dimensional, cosmic. I'm just imagining Aladdin with the how does it go? The genie. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. The genie's released, and all of a sudden it's like cosmic universal force, but in a tiny little bottle. Like that's what you are. So this tiny itty bitty little thing, and then this zoomed out cosmic being. So on that note, back to the eagle, that is this like zoomed out ability. And each of you have this ability to actually transcend your human bullshit, the stuff that just drags on the karma and the trauma and the blah, 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 blah. You have that ability to zoom on out and take a look at the bigger picture of it. And you can see with your eagle eye, you can see, oh, that, that is why I create that. That is why I continue to struggle with this small little thing. But then, when you are on the ground floor navigating the maze, it's not easy. And so you need that higher perspective to actually see, where do I go next in this crazy ass life maze? And your eagle, and not everybody has connection to actual eagle, but I do feel that it is a bird part of you. And so many of you probably have a bird totem animal. And it's really interesting. And I'm getting the picture of shape shifting, that this is not always like one species, that this is a shape shifting kind of bird like quality that you have, but it has that ability to like laser focus at certain things, but then also see all of it together. And so that actually helps the wanderer know where to go and how to navigate, because maybe on the ground floor it looks like chaos, but that higher dimension of you actually does know where you're going. And it's interesting to also loop in a bit of this kind of quantum idea that that time is an illusion and that everything has already happened. It's fractaling out in all these different potentials. And so, us navigating all these different potentials, it would be maddening. And so that's where the eagle comes in, and we can actually come out of the maze, out of the cacophony of noise. You've got this ability. Perhaps you can even channel. I'm sure, along with the poet, you guys are a bunch of channelers, and you're not just channeling some weird ET entity thing. It's actually, you're channeling you. You're channeling the higher dimension of you, which is way more powerful than channeling some ET thing. It's when you channel you, you know where to go. Look at that. Even like it's like being displayed. Like I just love it. I love this. It's so cool. So you've got the eagle informing the poet, informing the wandering, and off you go, doing all this like badass, beautiful cracking open and all the time. It's so weird because what have you been doing? You've just been standing still. Is everybody else around? You were just standing in the grocery aisle trying to figure out what kind of spice you needed out of the 18,000 choices. And in fact, you were probably on some other planet for a minute, remembering that, oh, that spice, I remember that spice. Anyway, complete derailment. Um, let's see. Let's pull another one of these. No, not these. Those. These and those. These. Let's go ahead and pull another one of those. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. That was like 100 cards. We gotta just hit, you know what? I'm feeling like this is very scattered for now. Yeah. 800 cards just popped out of here. Probably because each individual one of you now wants your own personal reading. Schedule that with me later. So right now, unify, come back all together, breathe. That's better. Did you feel that? Okay. Wow, dude. Protection, guardian, drop your shields. Isn't that fascinating? Protection, guardian, and then drop your shields. Like that right there is this allowing, allowing the warrior to sleep. Let your warrior take a break. Because the other thing, the other thing that links us all together is that you don't need to do any fancy stuff to protect yourself. You already are absolutely protected. You are so, so cared for, so, so strong. And I think honestly, part of that is that part of your higher self is linked to the Hathors. Like this is the energy of unconditional, unwavering love. And that is stronger than any kind of force field you could conjure up using hoodoo, voodoo. And I don't mean, I respect every single tradition. And so, including hoodoo and voodoo. However, there's no need to banish, there's no need to push it out. In fact, what you do best is crack open and allow that to inform your experience. And so I have a whole series of videos. I actually woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, bursting with all of this creativity. And part of that was these different videos that I want to put on here, specifically talking about this. And this is about when the world around you is crazy and it's irritating you and it's making you really frustrated, to actually breathe that in and transmute it and then breathe it back out. And it's a many of you probably know about the tongue lin. I might be saying that wrong. The tongue, yeah. It's that process of breathing in the pain and breathing out the light. You can research that on your own. And this is certainly a version of that. And it's a version that honestly has just dropped into my knowingness just from somewhere. And the only way that you can really breathe in the pain of stuff around you is by really having absolute trust in yourself that that nothing can hurt you, that absolutely nothing can hurt you, that um every single vibration, every single thing out there is love, and that if you just bring it in, you can transform it, transmute it, and change it and offer it back out. And that is the true warrior. The true warrior is that vulnerable protector being, because each of you have actually been angels, battle angels, and knights. I'm seeing all these different types of warrior energy, and that now it is time for you to actually relax and know that you don't have to do it all alone, that you've got this surrounding you, and you actually have space to do this and crack open. Yeah. Okay. I want to get one more of these cards because they feel really, really powerful today. Partly because we're looking at ourselves on more of an archetypal lens. And these cards do. The sun. The sun. You guys are all just so freaking shiny. And so your light, like your inner beauty, the inner spark of you is just so beautiful, is absolutely beautiful. And the other thing that it shows me is that just like the warrior, the sun never, ever stops shining. It is completely unwavering. Its loyalty to shine is infinite. And perhaps, on a cosmic level, yes, someday it may burn out. But to us, living many, 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 many lifetimes where we have danced under this sun and it has been the same sun every single time, that sun is powerful. And it has stayed burning bright this entire time for billions of years. Who knows how long, right? It's been around each and every one of your lifetimes here on this planet. And that is also your inner sun. And so each time you come back and you do this work, it's that same inner brightness that is unwavering. Nobody can put it out. Nobody can put your light out. In fact, the only thing that your light can do is inspire other lights to keep shining like this. Because everywhere you walk around, you are a blazing sun, even if you are completely silent, and even if nobody knows that you're in there. And I use this example of like just walking around a regular place, like walking around getting your groceries, and you are just this happy, like not necessarily happy, but we're not always happy, but this unending wellspring of life. And it's that feeling that you have never lost your joy. Your joy may sometimes be a bit clouded, you know, sometimes the sun will hide. Sometimes we won't see the sun for months. And in fact, there's some parts of the earth that, you know, it doesn't shine maybe like 1 hour a day. But that means that the sun inside of you, that joy that is sometimes dulled down or you can't access it as easily, is still shining, that your joy has never fully left you, and that all you have to do is allow this sun to dawn again. If it hides, just let it be reborn. And these things sometimes feel complicated, but it really is just that simple. It's just a choice. And the choice is knowing that even at night, the sun is actually still shining. And then just remember that. Oh, yes, my joy is still here. I still have that infinite wellspring of joy that has never left and never will. So, wow. I'm not so surprised you guys are getting a reading like this, because of course you're hanging out with me. Ah, yeah, to one magical being to many other magical beings. So I see you, and I am so happy you are here. And yeah, I am absolutely honored to be doing these readings for you, and I hope to continue for as long as I am inspired. And wow, I almost don't ever want to end this reading and just bask in this beautiful glow that is happening right now, because I am feeling inspired just from this energy. And it's interesting because the only time that I ever like sweat is when I'm like channeling and I am like completely sweating like crazy. Oh, I just want to pull one more card, but I'm not sure what to pull. Oh, I have an idea. This might take a bit of knowledge that I don't possess in my brain cells. Well, nope, too bad. I was looking around for my tiny computer. Ah, if I don't know what this wind is, then I'll do my best to fully channel it, fully. And if that doesn't actually prove successful, then I'll post it in the comments or something. Okay, so the one wind spirit that really connects us all. Oh, okay. Well, this is one that I don't know about. So I guess I'll be posting in the comments. But this one says, oh, if only this camera would. I guess we're just going to be dealing with some blurriness. Strybog, Slavic, dispersal. So the wind of dispersal. Discover nature's gifts. Hmm. So more on that in the comments or something, because I do not know much about this wind. However, what I feel from this and just the words that are cluing me in, dispersal. I feel like it's the wind that carries the tiny little parachute seeds off in many different areas. And so one of the reasons that we connect here online is because we have all been placed exactly where the earth and consciousness needed us most. And so we're flung all around the planet. And this part with discover nature's gifts, I feel that we're all very, very connected. And that when we do actually plant ourselves as this little seed that has been dispersed into different areas of the world, and we grow there, we grow our body of experience, we grow our consciousness, and our awareness becomes even richer. And then that is then, without even having to say anything or know each other or in any way physically connect, we are spiritually offering each other our gifts of everything that we have learned from being planted in this spot. And so, wherever you are planted right now, just know that we can all feel your light shining. Each and every one of us is benefiting from the other's bright shininess. And that actually gives us more and more comfort to sink on in and to crack open. And it this really is just so cool. Like I keep seeing the little dandelion puff seeds, and when they actually go into the dirt and they crack the cement and out they come shining, and blazing like under the sun. And a dandelion actually looks like the sun. Yeah, that is really beautiful and really epic. And then those seeds of wisdom and experience get dispersed yet again by this interesting Slavic wind. Yeah. I'm sure that there is far more synchronicity than I can comprehend in that card. Like, why is Slavic of all different places on the planet? I don't know yet. So, okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up now. This has been a really, really beautiful reading, and I'm very, very excited to keep doing this with you guys. And I feel like the readings can continue to get richer and deeper, and I don't know, more and more. I'm losing my words. Ah, just more inspiration, more poetry coming out into the world. So I can't wait to see what you guys all create. And stay tuned for the next reading that I post. I guess I'll throw it out there. I always, always love to see you guys. Like, I would love to know your stories, how you resonate with these readings. So, um, put a little comment down below because that also helps reach the rest of us, the rest of these little seeds. And I'm very content with it just being us, but I don't want to feel um like if there's anyone out there that is waiting to feel like they belong, maybe they want to come over here. So yeah, do the little thing where it comments and all of that, and let's get the conversation going between us, between you guys. We're clearly all connected and siblings, sisters, brothers in a multi-dimensional, very cosmic way. So I would absolutely love to hear your stories. So yeah, okay. And that's about it. All right. I will see you in the next one. Bye.